Hey guys, welcome back and happy Sunday. All right, guys, happy New Year's, happy 2022. This is going to be an amazing year. I can just feel it. It was actually funny. Jason and I were walking out of the grocery store and we saw this woman at Trader Joe's and we always see her. And she was like, happy 2022. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be a great year. She's like, oh, year. She's like, oh, thank you. I needed that. And then Jason comes strolling behind me and he goes, yeah, that's what he said last year. And she just looks and I'm like, okay. All right, and that's enough of you. Anyways, I just wanted to share that fun little tidbit story. It was silly, but you had to have been there. I guess it's one of those things. We're back to talk about Brock Davies from Vanderpump Rules, who is now slamming Lala Kent for not being able to afford to take care of Randall, is shading the storyline over the Sheena wedding drama. Yeah, we have the details. So before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And don't forget to hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. With that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys, so it looks like Brock Davies is not happy about the claims that Lala Kent made about him on the most recent episode, this past week's episode of Vanderpump Rules. Now, after Lala suggested that Brock had attempted to pawn off bills related to a surprise wedding he was trying to plan for himself and Sheena Shea, Brock appeared to be pretty upset about this. He actually went on a podcast where he claimed certain storylines had been spun and accused Lala of not being able to afford to take care of Randall. He said, my biggest pet peeve is we've got to speak about it, and we spoke about it some more, and you can come listen to the deep of it, okay? He said this on the Tap In with Harry Jowsey podcast, and this was on Showbiz Cheat Sheet. There's a spin on the storylines that come out, and it's like we said before, like it's one version or the other. But it's like, look, real quickly, I'm not going to pay for my photo shoot or my wedding. Sorry for my business account. What is he going on? What is this tangent? Now, during Tuesday night's Vanderpump Rules, Lala said that after Brock enlisted her and Randall to help him plan the surprise wedding, he went radio silent when the bills were due. It was said by Lala, anything that has to do with payment, Brock drops the ball. Meanwhile, Brock said that his and Sheena's surprise wedding was canceled due to the pandemic. I do want to say this really quick too. They filmed over the summer, and we know, and only because I still have friends who work in the restaurants and stuff, when they were filming, Los Angeles still had the mandate where only X amount of people were allowed in the restaurants. Everyone still needed to wear a mask. There were still certain rules. And I just flew to Los Angeles and the mandates were even more strict. Like you can't go into a restaurant. You can't go anywhere unless you show ID and proof of vaccine. You need your vaccination card as well. So it really is next level. And so in order for them to film Vanderpump Rules this past season, what they did was they brought in extras and they would fill up the restaurant and make it look like, okay, look, we're busy. And it made me even wonder when we saw James doing his See You Next Tuesday and you see everybody like, yeah, was that real? Or were those a bunch of extras that were just happy to be there? Like the 20-year-olds who just came in from like Tennessee or Massachusetts. And they're like, I'm going to be an actor. And I just got my first gig and it's being an extra for Vanderpump Rules. That's the vibe it kind of gave me. So when he said that this surprise planned wedding got canceled due to the pandemic, maybe there were certain restrictions, limitations. I could see that. He said, so my engagement/wedding was going to cost a fair amount. He explained that it got canceled because of the pandemic restrictions. We couldn't get to the venue on time and then they spun it. And it's coming out this week. It was spun out and I couldn't afford to do any of this. So he's pretty much saying, they're trying to paint it like I'm broke. I can't afford this wedding. That's not the case. The case was I was limited and it was a struggle. While Brock went on to say that Lala had implied that he chose to spend money on his fitness business rather than his wedding, saying he noted that they were having major issues within her own relationship, that she should likely be focusing on that. He was like, you're talking about my business and what I'm spending and where I'm putting my money, whether it's in my fitness business or my wedding, whatever, but you need to be focusing on your own relationship because it looks like things aren't the best in your own home. He actually went on and said, I spent so much money on my homebody brand, a photo shoot and all of this shit, but I can't afford to take care of my wife, which fast forward 6 months to today, that she can't afford to take care of her husband or fiance. I hear her cookie wasn't the cookie to eat. No, you did not. I hear her cookie wasn't the cookie to eat. That's how you address this? Okay, you guys know me. I'm a big Sheena fan. Sheena's a friend of mine, and I do wish her the best, especially this whole situation. You could tell that it could go wrong very easily when you add in the green card and the, stipulations of the relationship. But I do hope this is her forever. They seem like they're a great couple, but there are certain things that you should not say. Like, I hear her cookie wasn't the cookie to eat. That's a little disrespectful. But then again, Lala was disrespectful too. I'm trying to play devil's advocate, guys. This is a hard one. Now, as fans know, anyone who's watching Vanderpump Rules, Lala's relationship with Randall ended in October after he was accused of cheating. Brock actually said, it is what it is. She said some stuff and I'm not okay with it. Do you take money from your business for your personal life? Never happens. So don't assume that I'm going to take money to afford a nice lifestyle for you from my business money, because I'll never do that. Yeah. And that's where we're at. Like, that's the best tea you got coming for you? Okay. Well, if I've gathered anything from this, in this article, in this lovely cookie analogy, okay, it's that Brock's pissed. I think that Brock, like most people who sign up for the first time on a reality TV show, I think that he didn't necessarily know how dirty it gets. While I do have to commend him on the fact that he came in so transparent, he talked about the domestic violence situation. He opened up. We saw him cry. We see him getting along with Sheena. He seems like he's a natural on the camera. He's navigating relationships with conflict and resolution. I don't think he anticipated having a private conversation with Randall and Lala and having Lala slap it on the table at Villa Rosa. I really don't, honestly, I don't think that he anticipated that. Even Sheena looked like she was shocked. And when Lala dropped the ball, Sheena was like texting Brock saying, why would you even say that? But it looks like what happens here, and I can see it only because I've been around these people. It looks like what happens is you get lured in and they're like, hey, let's have a conversation. Oh yeah, you can trust me. We're friends and we're not filming right now. We're good. And then the minute that the cameras start rolling, they probably have a conversation with the producers before saying, hey, I heard this, this, and this. Should I drop this? Will this be good for me? Is this going to help ratings? Will this solidify my spot? And that's what Lala did. She didn't seem to have a whole lot of her own storyline this past season, even though all of the drama with Randall is dropping as the season is airing. Had this have happened while they were filming, Lala would have had a lot more shit on her plate. But that's not what happened. It looked like she didn't have much of a storyline at all, so it was easy to kind of piggyback off of Brock's. Now, what do I know, right? You guys can go ahead and comment below, rip into me, let me know, and give me your unfiltered opinions. I'm so curious and I want to pick your brain about this. So let me have it. What do you think about what Brock's saying about Lala? What do you think about this cookie analogy? What do you think about this conversation? And on your way out, don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. With that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.